Hey, Walleye Wisdom Watchers, this is Gary Spiker reporting from the sports show in Cedar Rapids with our good friend Paul Sleeper with the Iowa DNR. Paul, you've been here in this Ask the Pro Center. What you been talking about the last few days?
Well, it's been a lot of excitement here, especially with the walleye fishing the last couple of years in Lake McBride. We've had some really good success on our stockings the last few years. We did a big restoration project in 2001, 2002 where we rip-wrapped a lot of the shorelines, created a lot of underwater reefs. We had the lake down for 15 feet, so there's a lot more walleye areas out there in reefs. And the fish have really responded. The last 3 years has been the worst walleye fishing I've really seen at Lake McBride. I've been there since 1988, and it just seems getting better and better. This year looks very good. We might not have as many of those. Last year we had a lot of those 13 to 15s. Those fish are running about 18 to 20 inches now. We don't have quite as many as those smaller 13 to 15s this year, but it still should be very good this spring if Mother Nature cooperates.
That's always a key, isn't it, Paul? I know in our spring fishing down there this past year, early 2011, I was surprised at the number of walleyes I was catching, not only jigging, but also throwing crankbaits into that shallow water up on the north side. What do you think? This year, maybe the same program for anglers out there?
Yeah, it should be. I mean, it should be pretty much the same about every year out there, and that's, especially when it starts warming up, then the crankbait bite even gets a little bit better. And then the summertime, a lot of times it's a shad forage base, so those fish will start working off the shorelines and kind of suspending in the summer. Then you got to kind of chase them and troll a little bit. But one of the other areas is Pleasant Creek Lake up here in Cedar Rapids, 410-acre lake. It's always been below that kind of that magical 500 acres. The state usually doesn't stock walleyes below there. Mm-hmm. But now the last couple years we have enough fish now. We're actually starting to stock that on an annual basis. So every year we're going to get fish now, walleyes up there. It started 2 years ago, so there's a pile of 12 and 13 inches in there right now. And they do extremely well. So everybody's kind of excited. They're waiting till this fall. Hopefully those fish by this fall will be in that 14 to maybe 16, 17 inch range. It all depends how well they're going to grow. But got another shad forage base, so there's lots and lots of food. And once they get to that size where they can feed on those shad year-round, they just grow like crazy.
Now the tiger muskie that are out there at Palo, what do they feed on mostly, Paul?
Well, actually, we discontinued the tiger muskies in 1990. We don't stock anymore statewide. Those are all true muskies.
Okay.
So for the most part, they're taking advantage of those big gizzard shad.
Okay.
There's a lot of other rough fish. That's the main thing that they're feeding on. We got gizzard shad up to 18 inches there in Pleasant Creek.
Oh my goodness.
And a lot of times that's what we'll see. If we catch those muskies, they'll spit up a big gizzard shad or a big rough fish.
Okay.
So occasionally you'll see. If you're reeling in like a walleye and a muskie will hit it, but that's a reaction. I mean, they see a fish struggling, they just can't resist. They're just going to go up and hammer it. But Pleasant Creek's been a very good muskie fishery out here, and we're hoping. The other thing we did 2 years ago is we put some wiper in Pleasant Creek too. So again, to try to take advantage of those numerous gizzard shad, all that forage. So hopefully in maybe another 4 or 5 years, Pleasant Creek's going to be maybe the place to go for walleyes and those wipers.
Hey, now as we wrap up here, I wanted to ask you about the inland waters. You were talking to some of the folks here at the booth about the inland waters. You were talking about the Cedar River. What's happening on the walleye bite on the rivers this year, Paul?
It all depends on kind of that flow in the river, but we've already seen fish working up under the dams already here in the 5-in-1 Dam in Cedar Rapids. Some of the areas in Iowa City, those fish are starting to work up under the low heads and then under the tube in Iowa City there in the Iowa River too, and they're starting to stage, and we're hoping those water levels again cooperate. It could be a great year. We stock in the Iowa River, we stock 60,000 in my particular area, 2-inch walleyes, 60,000 in the Cedar River, and about 30,000 in the Wapsie River. So these are all 2-inch river strain walleyes. We get them out of the Mississippi River. They've done much, much better than the lake strain in those rivers. And the amount of walleyes we're seeing in the rivers is it's getting better and better every year. And a lot of large fish too, a lot of 8, 10 plus pound fish.
Well, sure appreciate your good service many years here in eastern Iowa, and I'll look forward to visiting with you as we start the season and checking in with you throughout the year so we can get this good information to our watchers. Hey, Paul, thanks a lot for being with us.
You bet, anytime. Thank you.